Okay, guys, I just started a live stream. So maybe do you guys want to just quickly introduce yourself and then the topic, and then we can have a discussion?
Yes, this is Franco Campilongo, owner of Terun Pizzeria and Italico restaurant on California Avenue, Palo Alto.
Welcome. Who would like to go next?
Michael Campilongo, brother of Franco and co-owner of Italico and Terun Palo Alto.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Solik. I'm head of operations at Zarene's.
Okay. Okay, who wants to introduce the topic?
So I can probably try.
Sure.
So we were just since the date of I think it's November 6th, it's approaching, and we just wanted to give our perspective on what the decision will be, and that's, I think, the main reason why we are meeting.
Okay, and which decision can you talk? Because some people may not know.
Decision about the street closure of California Avenue, 2 cars, car free or not car free, which is a delicate topic, I know, for many. Yeah, right now.
Sure. Okay. You guys want to share your perspectives?
Eventually, yes.
Yes.
Franco, you want to say something? Maybe I can add something, or we have 15 minutes, so there's plenty of time.
I can be quick. I just like I said in the past, I think Palo Alto in general as a city has an opportunity to change in better that area. California Avenue has always been the second downtown, or the class B downtown. And I feel there's now more than ever before an opportunity to change that. There's something that not too many downtown have, which is the infrastructure is already in place, like the transportation. There's the train station. There's El Camino has bus stops. There's new parking. There's I think the police is coming in there, the new building, and I feel like it's a great opportunity, not only for the businesses of California Avenue, because as we know, businesses, they come and go, depending on how we operate, but the main focus is to give something nice for the city and the city, the people that live in Palo Alto, which we know most of 99% would be for a car-free area where they can go and enjoy their time with their family. And yeah, we've done our survey, internal survey, and seems like all the people that they live in Palo Alto, they are for a car-free street, basically. That's my take. And again, it's not because I know that all the business like ours or Zareen or all the other business on Calab will thrive no matter what. But again, this is an opportunity that City of Palo Alto can make a mark right now and move forward to something that will attract people from not just the immediate neighborhood, but also from more far. Yeah.
Okay, great. Michael or Solik, you guys want to share your opinion?
I want to add, can you hear me, guys?
Mm-hmm.
One more thing Franco said everything, but we need to, so the main reason, the discussion, like the cobbler or retailers, they blame the street closure for having lack of business. I believe we missed the point. The lack of business comes from an effect of the pandemic. People orders online mostly. We know this, but it's good to repeat because it looks like nobody wants to hear. I personally have an example in my house. My wife works at Stanford Business School, and she goes in the office 2 days a week. I can see the bill of 2019 on Coupa Cafe every day. Now it's like 20% less remaining. So if we open the street to traffic, it's because we want to go back to the past, okay, but I don't see any improvement to business, etc. From my perspective, and also numbers. If I remember the survey 2022, taxes incoming for the city of Palo Alto on the California business district is 18.7% up compared to 2019. And that maybe depends, of course. Terun is 40% up, Italico is 30% up, Zarin is 50% up. I'm sure Jessica lost business, but why? Retailer down. So I would like to repeat this to every member of the city council, because if we go back to 2019 street open to traffic, for sure, Italico, Terun, Zarin, we're gonna drop some business, but I'm not sure we're gonna get business back. And the street will look bad. We have an opportunity to make, we all live in Palo Alto. We know how beautiful is Palo Alto. Me and Shalik, we live in Crescent Park. How nice is Crescent Park? Then when you go to California Avenue, it looks like I don't know, a ghost town sometimes. It's like no trees, no nothing. Let's take this opportunity for our kids, for our future, to do something. This is what I see.
Thank you.
That said, so that's it.
Okay. Sala, do you want to share your thoughts?
Sure. Michael and Franco really got most of it. Just to add on to what they're saying, I think Michael really touched it. We're basically taking a risk here where we're going back, and it not necessarily will help anyone. And there's a very, very good chance it actually hurts everyone more than it currently is. And we have an opportunity to build on what is currently happening. On top of that, I think there's some safety concerns given that, a lot of the kids around the neighborhood have gotten used to having a closed street. We have a lot of guys from Stanford coming in. That's something to be said. And then even when you think about, okay, maybe we can make park plates, maybe we can do this. I just don't really see regressing to closing the street and opening the street and having park plates being a viable solution for any of the restaurants. Really having a car and gasoline coming while you're trying to have a nice meal, it really just deters a lot of traffic that otherwise could be coming, and having a happening spot in Palo Alto, which is somewhat more of a quieter area. So yeah, pretty much what everyone else said. And on top of that, we would be happy to conduct, as some of the more successful and popular restaurants, we'd be happy to conduct another survey as a Palo Alto resident myself, right? It's something we want, we pay for. You ask anyone, they want the street to remain closed, and we'd be happy to kind of prove that again. Whether that's putting up a QR code on our website, receipts, windows, and all.
Okay, great. And we've had CalApp closed for some time, and it's still kind of a temporary affair, right? You still see the temporary barriers, and it hasn't really been not terribly planned, right? I think not many permanent structures, right? So what do you guys think we should do in terms of just the streetscape?
Can I say? Oh, go ahead, Frank.
Like the way it will. So there's that's complicated, of course. That's not our job to design. It's more of a technical area there. But the first thing I would do is have clarity, because right now, if you ask Terun, we know that there's certain guidelines on. If you ask someone else, they will say something different. So it can be confusing. It would be, if we have a set of guidelines that everyone says, okay, the tent can be with the sides down or not sides down, or we can have a tent no bigger than that, or no tent, or whatever. At least we go and we have a, we can plan. The main thing is when there's confusion is that us as business owners, Terun Italico has 98 employees, and if we don't know what's happening, especially when winter comes, can we use the tent? Cannot we use the tent? Can we use the heaters? Can we do that? And there's no clarity. What we do, we have to defend our business, and we might end up being forced to let employees go, because you know, at this point we're still into maybe we can use the space outside, maybe we cannot use the tent or whatever it is. So it would be nice to have some kind of response from the city and say, hey, we're working in this direction, don't worry, or just, you know, so that we can basically plan for our businesses. That's how I see it. Visually, the options are you know, infinite. I think so. There's so many great things that can be done, and this is not something that it can happen in one day, 1 year. That it's a process that will take many months or years.
Is there anything that you guys would want to see in the rules or guidelines about the streetscape that might be helpful? I mean, so certainly one thing I heard is clarity. So that makes a lot of sense, because it's hard to make investments if you don't have clarity. But what else? What else do you guys think might be helpful?
I'd say for us at least, we kind of need to know if the closure of the street it's gonna be, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or no closing, because then that's how I think we can you know, plan, because there's, again, the spaces are, if you open the street, it's going to be a little different, you know. This we have to integrate eventually with an open street, but if it's closed, then, you know, there's other ways to, I think, to have a project on both the sides, whatever. Yeah, so that's the main thing, knowing where is the city going. Does the city want to have it permanently closed to cars or not? That's what I think many people, and we get asked every day at the restaurant, oh, are they gonna keep it closed? Oh, and we say, seems like, but we're not sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else besides the uncertainty? Because I can understand how that makes it hard to want to invest, right? If you don't know what's going to happen, right? But beyond that, is there like some sort of style you would want, or you know, like design standards? I realize it's a little bit technical, but you know, this is something which when rules are made, you know, the city is not going to be making the big investments. Right? It's really largely the businesses, right? They're going to be investing in, you know, building this, building that, right? So what would be helpful?
I think the first thing, kind of like how Franco said, of course, it would be, we need to see that the street is going to be remain closed. And then it goes into a couple thoughts. Assuming that it is closed, I think using an example like Castro Street in Mountain View, where you have a very lively kind of downtown area on most parts, or even downtown Sunnyvale, where they have Murphy's Street closed with lights all around, really nice outdoor seating. That way we can kind of you know, I guess just a clean open space where everyone as a restaurant or a business or a small business is investing, whether it's supplying music, as we often do on the third Thursday, putting up posters, having art. So I think a nice open space that also is also safe, you know, very clear. I would say that the main thing for us that, you know, we see a lot of bikers right now. So I think safety, like Franco said, clarity. But yeah, the big elephant in the room would be whether it's closed or not. If it's going to be open, then you know,
Sure.
I don't think many of us would even want to be investing too much more than we already have.
So you mentioned bikers. You know, one thing that we talked about in city council was to have bikes go down the center. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
I'm a cyclist. I cycle five times per week, but the way the street is designed right now, I feel like if you have a pedestrian and bikes in the same spot, it might not work. You can put speed limits, but I mean, who's going to enforce that? And I found myself many times going with my kids, walking around. I have 3 kids, and they walk around, and sometimes I have to yell, "Hey, watch your bike!" And because they, you know, so if it's I think it's impossible to enforce for such a small space to enforce bike speed limits. So I would, and again, I'm a cyclist, but I would say that it would probably be safer not to allow bikes going. Maybe they can go, there's another route around, but that's how I see it. And again, I love bikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just about out of time, guys. Anything else that you guys like to share before we move on to next session?
Last thing, Michael here. One of the question is no, I don't say no question. People complain about there's so many vacancies on the street.
Oh yeah.
And we have friends or potentially people renting those spaces, and everybody's kind of holding just because we don't know the destiny of the street. Beside the rent is very expensive, etc. But as a restaurant owner, I will make a decision investment on California Avenue after I know what the city council will decide. Street open to traffic or not. This is that's why we urge to know what's gonna happen at the best.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, guys. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, really quick, but just a question for you based on your understanding. What are some of the, I guess, strongest points for maybe reopening the street? What are some things that we could do, I guess, to further push our, pretty obvious message and goal of keeping this street closed for the Palo Alto residents?
I think the main arguments I've heard, people want to reopen it is because there's a belief that this will help retailers, right? That their business will increase because people want to drive to stores and they want that kind of convenience. For me, I'm mainly a biker, so I don't drive just about anywhere. So for me, it's like I don't. That doesn't mean that's definitely not true for me, but I don't know if it's true for others. It would be really interesting to kind of because there's been times when not just Cal App, but there's also university times when street has been reopened, right? It would be really interesting to see what has the data shown, right? In terms of you reopen, cars drive, they can park in front of the store. Do they actually get more sales or not, right? I think it would be really interesting to see, is that a truth or is that just a hope, right? And so I think that would be interesting to know, like what actually happened. So those are things which I'm hoping staff was able to do some digging and kind of show the evidence, right? Because right now there's a lot of speculation, but I haven't seen a lot of evidence.
And then in the second part, sorry, I know we're running over. In terms of things we can do as a Palo Alto resident, and just I know retailers is one part. Yeah. As a resident, how much effect can we have? How much, where does it go from there?
Well, definitely the residents have a big effect, right? So, if the desire to keep it open or closed, that's definitely a big effect, right? For me, I want to maximize economic activity in the area. That's really important. And yeah, because University Avenue, Cal Ave, there's a lot of vacancies. We all see that, right? It's not good. It's not a good situation. So we want the area to be vibrant. At least I do, right? I think we want it to be something where like the business on the street can do really well. I think that's important.
Should we tell our supporters of having the street closed something? Is there something that we can do?
Definitely, we have the meeting coming up, so definitely, zooming in, showing up, writing in, scheduling office hours. That's all good stuff.
Would emailing? What if we had like
emailing is good too? Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep, of course. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate it. Okay. Bye.